Hey, I'm right back with another video. It's 6 o'clock, exactly on the dot, and it's Wednesday, June 6th. Huh. Time is going by fast. I was thinking yesterday about these people who got involved in this gang stalking, human trafficking, employment manipulation, terrorism, and it's a form of terrorism. Let's not, fool ourselves into thinking that there's anything respectable about this. I was thinking about how when I was working in Chatsworth, I was telling my friend a few days ago about these people and their arrogance. I remember I changed my hairstyle one day, and out of necessity, because, I think I talked about black hair before. So I changed my hairstyle, come to work, and her production manager comes up to me and says, you shouldn't be rebelling like that. And I kept thinking, rebelling against who? Who am I rebelling against? Now, I do realize there's certain styles or looks that can come off as rebellious. For example, you see people who are tattooed all over their face, their arms. They've got like those huge, I don't know, you want to call them ear bangles in their ear, to where their earlobe is stretched out, and they got eyeliner applied all the way to their ears, and they might have spiked hair, or that's a rebellious look, okay? And really, if their family is okay with it, then I guess it's really not rebelling against anybody. But there are certain things that don't look, what's the word for it? Work appropriate. It's not work appropriate because it might make the company image look bad or something. But this was just a regular hairstyle, and I was wearing regular clothes, and I was being told that I was rebelling. So if this person thought that I was, or they were the voice of this particular boss of mine in Chatsworth, first of all, I'm not rebelling against anything. There was no company rule relating to anything that I was doing. I was very presentable. My family never had a discussion with me as to what I'm supposed to look like, unless, of course, they're working behind the scenes, which they shouldn't be doing. And the only person I have to answer to in this life is myself. I don't answer to anybody other than myself. Now, there are certain rules that I obviously respect that are established by levels of authority. For example, I don't take things from other people, okay? I don't spy on other people. I respect other people's privacy. I respect their rights, okay? So I'm not rebelling against anything. And I really resent the fact that somebody would tell me how I'm supposed to look and what I'm supposed to do with my own damn hair in the United States of America. Now, I could see if it was a style that would be unpresentable for work. Like, some people think braids are unpresentable for work, okay? I personally think that they are a very helpful hairstyle, especially for black people, because it's easy. But I understand that sometimes that creates controversy, okay? So I just try to wear a hairstyle that is just normal. Or not, I don't like the word normal, but you know what I mean, commonly acceptable, okay? Maybe it's fake, but hey, at least it looks presentable. So it's not anything wrong with that. But I also resent their participation in manipulating my life to this point, and I've said it many times before. There's a difference between a very stern businesswoman and this particular lady from Chatsworth. She's not a stern businesswoman. She's a control freak, out of control. And she had no right to do what she did at all, under any standpoint. Once I left her place of employment, that was it. These people have this God complex that is just like, it's indescribable. Like, I can't understand why somebody would think that, but it's a level of arrogance that is just something that I have a hard time dealing with, because I'm being oppressed by it. It's one thing to have a personality flaw, but when you are being oppressed by it, it's a whole different story. I don't want people, involved in my decisions in life. That's personal. That's something that I kept to myself. That was something I wanted on my own. That was something that I don't get inspired or influenced by other people. I don't. What's generating in my mind, I want to work on it from that level. And when I have these people who just jump in and start thinking that they have some sort of say in my life, my things, then I get very angry about it. And I have every right to, you know. I remember when I was growing up, we were learning about, you know, what went on over in Russia and how some people got, you know, there were jobs were chosen for them, I guess, okay. Because a lot of that things that we heard from back then were just forms of propaganda. So I never lived there. So I can't say whether this information was right or not, okay? But still, I was told that, you know, when you were in Russia back then, you know, you were told from a young age what you were going to do for a living. And I remember thinking, that's an outrage. Like, somebody can basically set the tone of your life without you saying so. If somebody said you're going to be a shoemaker, then that's what you're going to be. Whether you have the drive, desire, or talent for that or not, that's what you is set in motion. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's true or not because I wasn't there, okay? And I know a lot of times when you hear things that go on in different countries, a lot of it is propaganda, okay? But just the thought of that. Think about that. Think about somebody saying what you're going to do for your life, telling you how to live your life. And that's one of the reasons why people like being here in this country, because they think, well, we are free here, right? Not when you have narcissistic bosses, apparently. Okay? These people have no right to do what they're doing. And I have no association or affiliation with these people at all. So I was pretty burned about that yesterday. And I have been thinking about it for a very long time. And rightfully so, because it's affected my life. I'm very leery of people who gossip. You know, gossip, man, I did a video on it one time before about gossip, the dangers of it. And I remember when I was working in Chatsworth, you know, that place was just nothing but a gossip place. It was just like gossip everywhere. And I had this nightmare, hellish accounts receivable clerk working in the department. And I said, you know, I don't like to participate in gossip. And she was trying to argue that gossip was a good thing. Gossip is never a good thing. Now, there's certain things that you talk about in daily conversation that relates to other people. Like, for example, oh, do you know the neighbor over there, she's getting married, or she lost her mother, or those sort of things, okay? But when you start saying and making up stories and spreading rumors, okay, slander, then it's not healthy. And what it is, it's good for people like her because this is how she makes her friends. This is how she becomes the belle of the ball. This is how she gets her attention to herself, you know. And I will tell you, people who are like that are never good to be around, ever. Okay. Now, all this gossip has been generating around me for many years, and none of it is true. Okay. They probably thought because I contacted the cute guy in 2008 that there was something going on between he and I for that period of time. I will tell you that is bullshit and it's a lie. None of it's true. Now, if he's been running, you know, hanging around, hoovering around, and working with these employers or whatnot, I had no knowledge of it. Okay, none whatsoever. I thought he was over in Northern California. I was here in Central California, and that was the end of that. I never contacted him from that point. So all of this has been going on for a very, very long time, and it's all bullshit. None of it's true. And so I'm very angry because, you know, I'm being treated in a way that is dehumanizing to a person, you know, and I've done absolutely nothing wrong. Also, I would like to say that even if I was seeing the cute guy, which I wasn't, okay, obviously if your neighbors are monitoring you while you're, you know, when you're in this program, they monitor you, okay, they watch what you're doing at work, they watch what you're doing, you know, on your daily routines, you know, you're going to the store, you're doing, there's no way in the world I could have had anything to do with this person. But if I did, legally, let's just say, for example, the cute guy and I were going off on weekends and we were jet setting here and there. Legally, they still wouldn't have the right to do what they did, okay? Because what I do in my personal life has nothing to do with work. And this happens to a lot of people who actually do things like this, okay? Okay, but, and even though I think it's it's not right to do that. Okay, it's still an issue that doesn't relate to their work. So if somebody wanted to, and if they were guilty of doing something like that, they would still have a court case. Why? Because it has nothing to do with their work. Nothing. Okay? In this case, I'm 100% innocent. I have no ties to any of these people who got involved in it. You know, and I do hope the cute guy does come around eventually. But I'm saying is that I never had a relationship with him. You know? I mean, like I said, I never talked to him. I never received any reply from him. Never spoke to him, you know, at all. Whether that be written, verbally, whatever. So all of this has been going on, and I've been accused of things that I've never done. So yeah, I'm more than pissed off about that. And then they took it upon themselves to try to punish me for something that I didn't do. If I was being punished from the community for having something to do with the cute guy, that's not for anyone to punish me for doing that, which I didn't anyway, but you know what I mean? It's not for them to punish somebody. You know what I mean? The punishment would be, number one, I would probably get a divorce, which I got a divorce from my ex-husband for reasons that had nothing to do with it. I figured his mom was manipulating my life. He wasn't saying anything about it. And that's abusive right there. And before then, I left him because he wasn't good to my kid, all these other issues. So that's why, okay? Start manipulating my life and I will get the hell away from you because I won't trust you, period. So, yeah, you know, the community is wrong for doing what they did. And just because Karen Johnson was my employer at one time doesn't give her any authority to do anything at all. Then there's the issue of Steve Murray, who's another one who thought it was his right to do what he did. He has no right to do anything. Now, I don't know what happened exactly. I suspect that my family was causing problems over at his place of employment. Does it have anything to do with the cute guy? I don't know. You know, that part I keep thinking, I don't know. Because I start thinking my employment started getting manipulated like right when I was working over in 2014. That's when I noticed that something started drastically changing. And, but does it go back further than that? Does it start when I was over after 2008 and it continued? Or did it start in 2014? That part I will never be able to know. Unless, of course, I receive some sort of verbal confirmation. Okay, but I'm backtracking everything that has happened. You know, these little events, things that people were saying, when I was over at the Murray's place, I was being gossiped about all the time. I'd walk out the door and the field workers would be gathering around talking. And I kept thinking, what are they talking about? Why are they talking about me all the time? And I couldn't understand it. I kept thinking maybe they thought that I was with my boss or something. And I kept thinking that's bullshit, you know, obviously. But that's what I kept thinking they were talking about. Were they talking about the cute guy and this whole issue? That's what I'm thinking now. I'm starting to think, well, is that a possibility? You know, because none of it is true. And then I was receiving all this bullshit from the community for none of it. Now, if people were basically standing up for Joel, my soon-to-be ex-husband, well, look what he is. You know what I mean? And so basically you're saying it's okay to be basically a mama's bitch and abuse women and do all this sort of stuff, and then you are taking the side of somebody that's in the wrong, okay? So either way you look at it, I'm the one who received bullshit for nothing. And so I'm the one who suffered for it. It was wrong, period, you know? So anyway, I've been talking for like 14 minutes and I gotta get taken off really soon. So yeah, you know, gossip is never a good thing. And no one has authority to do anything over another person's life. They have no right to say anything other than basing it off of what happened at their place of employment. Okay, after I leave your place of employment, I have the right to start over again. Okay, I have the right to start over again. Start a new life, try to get myself together and move on from that. No one has the right to say, well, I really don't think that you should be doing that. You have no right to say that. None. And if you want to base it off of what I did for my work over in Chatsworth, I did a good job. Her brother always complimented my work. The problem was, it was a social issue where I was being bullied at work, especially by my own boss, okay? and constantly being harassed. Okay, and because you don't like being harassed, which nobody does, okay, you leave, and so you got this psychotic, narcissistic person that comes trailing after you. Okay, obviously, I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it, because it's true. She's in the wrong. She had no right to do what she did at all. And so this is an example of a narcissistic person basically coming after a person who has no right to. She had no right to do what she did. So anyway, yeah, I'm angry about it because my life has been severely affected by something that I had nothing to do with at all. You know, I had nothing to do with any of it. So yeah, I have every right to be angry. You know, and then bringing all these people that I'm assuming that I had connections with on Facebook into my employment issue is another thing I would never do. Okay, some of these people from high school I haven't seen in years. Okay, and my relationship with them has been basically reduced to hi and bye, and I don't even say anything to these people now. Okay, so these people being involved in my personal life, my work life, I find offensive for several reasons, okay? Because I have a right to my privacy, and I have a right to live my life aside from all of that. If I wanted them involved, I would have asked them, you know? So this is a circus show that I would have never asked for. And no one had the right to say, oh, well, this person, you know, we want her to do this, or this is what she's going to do for a living. How dare you? How dare you make those decisions for me? That's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So, yeah, I mean, when I think about it, of course I get angry because I've been punished for something that I didn't do. And aside from that, you know, no one has the right to punish me. When you punish somebody, they're supposed to be punished by the judicial system. And obviously this is something that I can't be punished through the judicial system because I've created no crime. I've committed no crime. The crime that was committed was the crime committed by the employers by not adhering to these particular employment laws, and the gossip, the slander, the defamation of character, the manipulation of my employment, my lost wages and security, my loss of peace of mind, all of it is what these people should be sued for. Okay, so when you start thinking and you start gossiping, talking about people, you really need to think about what you're saying before you say it. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I will be back with another one sometime this week. I'm not really in a video making mode, but I did want to kind of, you know, express my thought because I'm going back to time periods and thinking, okay, I started noticing my employment started getting really weird. I mean, I was getting harassed at work for a long time, but my employment manipulation started occurring around 2014. That it was obvious, okay? Because who's to say that my employment was not being manipulated from the very beginning? But as far as things that I was being offered that had nothing to do with what I wanted to do was being done in 2014. So if it goes back further than that with the cute guy issue, then I really don't know. I'm trying to put that together, and I will never know for sure. But I will say 2014 was an indication of it. So anyway, wrapping up this video, have a wonderful day.